This is why we get up every day, and this is what we love.
Of course you're dreaming of winning the Derby.
I mean, that's what it's all about, is to try to produce an athlete.
Fox 56 presents The Spirit of the Derby, presented by Hustler Turf Equipment, Pepsi, Advantage Air, Apex Plumbing Solutions, Sash and Bow Boutique, and Posh Salon and Spa.
Hello and welcome to the 4th annual Fox 56 Spirit of the Derby. I'm Dan Reefer and so happy to be joined this year by former Miss Kentucky USA, Maria Montgomery. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. I'm so excited to be here. I love all things Kentucky, especially the Derby, so it's really an honor.
Well, I'm going to make a sacrifice for you because it is so bright out here with these sunglasses. It's also very windy at Churchill Downs, and you had a lovely hat on.
A really, really pretty hat.
But the wind was too much. So what I'm going to do for you is, because you had to sacrifice the hat, I'm going to sacrifice the sunglasses.
Well, thank you so much. We make a good team.
It's the least I can do.
I know that you're probably surprised to know that my favorite thing about the Derby is actually the fashion, so I'm so sad to not get to wear my hat. And we're going to see more beautiful hats when we take you to Sash and Bow Boutique for some of the spring's hot looks. Plus, Posh Salon provides Derby Day hairstyle options, and Louie's Wine Dive shows us a unique twist on the mint julep.
We'll visit the Bourbon County farm where Derby contender Gunnevera was bred. And TVG's Todd Schrupp gives us tips for finishing in the money. But first, we begin with a jockey, Maria, who had to make his bet on the Kentucky Derby a couple weeks ago, talking about jockey Brian Hernandez Jr., who was forced to pick between a pair of top prospects in the run for the Roses. I caught up with him at Keeneland.
Brian Hernandez Jr. seemed destined for horse racing glory from a young age.
My senior year of high school, I came to Churchill Downs Derby Week and won the very first mount I ever rode at Churchill Downs.
For the southwestern Louisiana native, racing is all he's known.
I grew up in a racing family. My father rode for 20-something years. So when I was a really young kid, I think I was 12, I started galloping horses on the farm.
All three of the Hernandez kids followed their father's path, at least for a little while. Daughter Courtney no longer rides, but brother Colby does, and dad works in the jockey's room.
It's great because when we're down in New Orleans for the winter, we live right next to the track, my wife and 2 kids in them, and then my dad comes over all the time. And my little brother rides, and down in the jock's room, my father's our valet, and then me and Kobe, we share our corner together, so it's a family affair.
Hernandez Jr. had success right out of the gate, earning the Eclipse Award for Top Apprentice Jockey in 2004, the same year he graduated high school. But it'd be another 8 years before he'd reach racing's elite level.
What a thriller in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Fort Lauderdale digs deep. Mucho Macho Man, it's nose and nose to the wire. Fort Lauderdale has won it.
Hernandez had won what was at the time North America's richest race.
Fort Lauderdale and Brian Hernandez have won it.
I had the confidence before that. You know, Brian done a fair bit of riding for me. It was the same as anyone. There's a lot of good riders that don't get the opportunity.
It's a tough business, and he's got a lot of tough competition. He's right up there now, though. He's right up there. Everybody knows that Brian can ride.
Even after that, Hernandez would wait another 4 years for his first Kentucky Derby mount, which was on 30-to-1 shot Tom's Ready last year. He finished 12th.
It's a big difference from last year to this year.
It's Gervin and the Risen Star Stakes.
We were just in a very fortunate situation to be riding 2 of the best 3-year-olds in the country through the prep season.
This year, Hernandez has won 3 Derby prep races with 2 different horses, Gervin and
McCraken remains unblemished and will take to Sam Davis.
I don't think I've slept a full night in the last 4 months, really.
Gervin sits atop the Derby points standings.
And Gervin has won the TwinSpires.com Louisiana Derby.
McCraken is owned by the Whittam family and trained by Ian Wilkes, the same connections from the biggest win of his career. Hernandez had to make the call.
That's probably the toughest decision I've ever had to make in my career. I guess it'd be almost like having to choose one of your kids to take on vacation with you and leaving the other one at home.
McCraken entered the Bluegrass Stakes at Keeneland unbeaten. 4 wins and 4 career starts.
Here's McCraken storming up on the outside.
Despite the disappointing 3rd-place finish, Hernandez announced that he was sticking with McCraken.
McCraken was the favorite going into the Bluegrass. He was the favorite for the Derby. And he's had such a history with Ian Wilkes and the whole deal, and you got to go with your, big connections, and I think he did the right thing, to be honest with you, because you can always throw one race out.
Sometimes when you get beat, it's a good thing. And I'll know after the first Saturday in May whether it was a good thing.
Wilkes has experienced what it's like to win the Derby, but as an assistant trainer, He's never had a Derby runner of his own. And owner Janice Whittam, a widow in her 80s who's been in racing for more than 40 years, has never even attended the Kentucky Derby. For her, Wilkes, and Hernandez, Fort Larned would finish second should McCraken capture the garland of roses.
Of course you're dreaming of winning the Derby. If you're a jockey and you're in these situations, you're not telling yourself you're not dreaming about it, you're crazy. When you tell people you're a jockey, nobody asks if you ever won the Breeders' Cup Classic. They ask if you won the Kentucky Derby. So.
Well, you heard in that story, jockey Brian Hernandez Jr. said picking between McCraken and Girvan was the toughest decision he ever had to make. Kind of like you, Maria, and trying to figure out what to wear to the Derby, right?
Ha ha ha, Dan, real funny. But actually, Sash and Bow in Lexington made my choice super easy this year. And we're gonna take you there next when the Spirit of the Derby continues on Fox 56.
Welcome back to the Spirit of the Derby here on Fox 56. And Maria, having been former Miss Kentucky USA, you've had to have come out here to Churchill Downs for the Derby before, right?
Absolutely, I did. And it was actually during my year as Miss Kentucky, so I was really spoiled. I got to go on Millionaire's Row, and it was just one of my most favorite memories of that whole year.
Be honest, it was a huge deal trying to figure out what to wear, right?
Oh yeah, always. So much thinking goes into that, but this year I let Sash and Bow Boutique in Lexington do the thinking for me. I'm here with Sasha at Sash and Bow on Walton Avenue here in Lexington, and this is one of the most beautiful boutiques I've ever seen. From the chandeliers to all the pink tables, it just blends so nicely, and we are so excited to have you here in Lexington. So tell us a little bit more about this beautiful store.
Thank you. Yes, Sash and Bow, we've officially just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's been a dream of mine for a long time to have my own shop.
Awesome. Well, just in time for Derby season, you have so many dresses and tops that would be perfect to see at the races. So tell me what you have me dressed in here, because it sure is a comfy white dress.
Today you're dressed in Forest Lily is the brand. It's a little longer in length, which seems to be trending for spring. So a nice solid color, so if you wanted to do a hat, you could put something fun and colorful with it, or if you just wanted to do a solid color, you could do that as well.
Gotcha. Well, I love it, and I love yours as well.
Thank you.
And I know we have some models here today, so let's start off with Todd. Tell me about Todd's wardrobe.
We have Todd, and today Todd is featuring our bow ties and our pocket squares. They are locally made here in Lexington, and the brand is Golf Club Collection. So we have several different patterns, and it's always nice to mix and match the bow ties with the pocket squares just to give it a little bit of flair.
Okay, yeah, it looks really good. Nice Kentucky blue going on.
Yes, definitely the Kentucky blue.
Thank you, Todd. And now, Sasha, we have ladies.
Yes.
Of course, the stars of the Derby. So tell me what Miss Emmy is wearing.
Yes, today Emmy has on a Donna Morgan fit and flare, which is also big for the spring. It's just a nice lace overlay, and we have it paired today with just a basic hat, kind of oversized. So just kind of depends on what you're feeling, if you want to do a fascinator, if you'd like to do a bigger hat.
Yeah.
And we just also have it paired with a statement necklace and some statement jewelry.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful combination.
And
it
the
really
best
brings
part
out the gold.
is her pockets.
Oh, girls, we always want pockets and dresses. You can put so many goodies in there. All right, thank you so much, Miss Emmy. Okay, Sasha, if white isn't your thing, let's look at what Bree is wearing. Tell me about that.
Today, Bree is wearing a black Forest Lily dress. It's got a nice little champagne slip underneath it. And my favorite part is the scalloped lace hemline.
It is really pretty.
And
really flattering.
She's got it paired with a fun little black fascinator.
Okay, Sasha, we've seen white dresses, we've seen black dresses. So now Miss Emmy here is going to combine black and white for us together. So tell me about her look.
Her look today, she's got on a Joan Voss, just a black, fun little classic dress. The scallop sleeves really make it, and we've paired it with just a basic pearl necklace and then a white and black little hat.
Okay, so we have Bree back here with us, and this one looks familiar.
It is. It's the sister dress to the one that you're wearing.
Okay,
in a lovely lavender, and we have it paired with a statement necklace and statement bracelet.
That's just some of the great things you can find here at Sash and Bow. So Sasha, when can people come down and shop?
I am open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and then you can also shop online.
All right, thank you so much. That was so much fun.
Thank you.
Well, Maria, while you were at the boutique, I was out on the farm.
Oh, come on. It's not like you were mucking the stalls.
No, I was not. But I was around a lot of... Never mind.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear about that.
You don't want to know about that.
No.
Thanks.
But let me tell you, this is a story you do want to hear about when the Spirit of the Derby returns on Fox 56.
Welcome back to the Spirit of the Derby on Fox 56. You know, Dan, every year it seems that the Kentucky Derby delivers fascinating storylines.
You know, I think of 2009, the year actually that you were crowned Miss Kentucky USA. There was a retired school teacher and a principal in his 70s named Tom McCarthy. He claimed this horse, General Quarters, right here at Churchill Downs a year earlier before bringing him here to run in the Kentucky Derby. He owned and trained General Quarters. I mean, it's one of those stories you just don't forget. Now here's another one.
Gunnevera coming up on the outside. Oh, he's got him. Gunnevera has won the Saratoga Special.
This is where Kentucky Derby contender Gunnevera was born. Brandywine Farm in Bourbon County.
Well, we consider ourselves to be what is referred to as a mom and pop operation.
Dr. Pam Robinson formerly was the director of a human physiology research lab at the University of North Carolina. Her husband Jim spent 30 years as an electrical engineer for GTE.
And we decided to look at farms in Kentucky one November, thinking that someday we would retire and move to Kentucky.
They were already breeding thoroughbreds in North Carolina as a hobby.
We said, you know, if you're going to do thoroughbreds, you pretty much need to be in Kentucky. So we kind of had the opportunity. We bought this farm and we moved here in 1998.
So they both retired to begin an even more demanding career as breeders.
It's pretty much a 24-hour, 365-day-a-year job, really.
We are hands-on. We do everything that the rest of the crew on the farm does.
Every morning, Pam makes the rounds with the veterinarian. Then Pam calls the stallion farms to book breedings.
I'd like to book the mare Royal Parade to Caraconte.
And Jim takes the mares to those stallion farms.
This is a working farm. They are working. They work here.
Bob Butler has spent his spring nights on foal watch at Brandywine Farm for 12 years now.
It's not somebody's tax write-off. They don't have an oil well out behind the barn. This is a farm, and you know, this is a living.
You know, we eat, sleep, and live this. It's all we do. Don't take vacations.
We've been to the Greenbrier once for 3 days, about 15 years ago. But we can't come up with any place we really want to go. So this is our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, you know, love.
But there has been heartbreak along the way.
Well, Gunnevera, when he was born, the mare was 19 years old, and she ruptured what would have been a small arterial vessel, uterine vessel. Because if it had been a large one, she would have died right there. We were able to, with drugs and fluid therapy, to get that under control. And within 3 days, why, you know, everything appeared to be quite normal. And in fact, for the next week, why she and Gunnevera would go out in a paddock every day and romp and play. And all of a sudden, then, this is 10 days after she produced the foal, she dropped dead of a heart attack out in her paddock. I mean, she just, bam, down and gone.
Gunnevera was left without a mother.
People say, well, you know, they're upset, so to speak, that the baby has lost its mother. Well, when they're that young, what they want is a milk source.
Foals need milk every hour, around the clock.
You know, you think about that 24 hours a day for the next 4 or 5 months. You need to get a nurse mare.
Enter Jenny, the nurse mare that raised Gunnevera. That's right, one of the top contenders in this year's Kentucky Derby had a paint horse as a foster mom.
Apparently it was good milk.
Milk sustains a foal similar to how sales sustain small breeders like Brandywine Farm. And when it was time for Gunnevera to go,
in the back, 16,000.
He brought less than expected.
Yeah, we were disappointed, but that happens a lot.
Gunnevera was bought by Venezuelan trainer Antonio Sano, who was forced to leave his home country after being kidnapped for ransom there twice. So he came to America but had to start over. Now his $16,000 purchase has turned into more than $1 million in earnings and Sano's first trip to the Kentucky Derby.
Gunnevera for local trainer Antonio Sano.
But this is not the first time the Robinsons have bred a Derby horse.
Well, we had one a couple years ago, Danza, who came in third, and that was very special.
The small breeders, I would say, are the backbone. There's so many, you never know it until we happen to get lucky.
Lyra Miller and her husband own Lil's Coffee Place in Paris and Rosecrest Farm. They bred 2013 Derby runner and 2-time Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile champ, Golden Sense.
Whenever any of us in Bourbon County have a horse that gets to the Derby, oh my gosh. We all know that there are so many lows in the business that when somebody has a high, we all rejoice in it.
Gunnevera initially represented a low for Brandywine Farm. They lost a mare, and the emotions of that are still there.
God, I wish Rage was still here. Gunny's mom, yeah, unbridled Rage.
But 3 years later, Gunnevera's giving them a different emotion.
Very proud. I mean, that's what it's all about, is try to produce an athlete.
It's surreal. It's kind of hard to believe it's even happening, you know.
So big old Gunny's running for the money.
Welcome back to the Spirit of the Derby on Fox 56. The Derby is always more fun when you win.
Absolutely, and here with some pointers on how to pad your pockets is TVG's Todd Schrupp.
What you always have to remember with the Kentucky Derby, you're dealing with 20 horses, but you also have to take into account this. Probably at least 5 to 8 of them don't belong. In other words, you're gonna look back a year from now and go, what was I thinking? Why did I ever think that horse could win the Kentucky Derby? So don't get overwhelmed by the numbers of the Kentucky Derby. Find 3 horses that you can key in on and build your tickets around those horses. That way, if you're wrong on one of them, you still have a chance with the other 2. This is the type of year where it's not about finding one horse to key in on, it's about finding a trio of horses to key in on and work your wagers from there. Think about this for a moment. The trifecta pool last year was $27.5 million. Far and away the biggest pool. The exacta pool was a little over $22 million. The last 3 years have been different from the norm. We've seen 3 favorites win in a row. You got California Chrome, American Pharoah, and Nyquist. That is going to change this year. But over the last 25 years, when you take a look at the average payoffs in these categories, you've got an average trifecta that is paid for $2, $10,600. Again, the last 3 years an exception, but prior to that, huge numbers in the trifecta. Same could be said of the exacta. Incredibly, the exacta, when you even factor in the last 3 years for $2, has averaged $760. The average win return has been at nearly $28. So again, last 3 years, I don't think we're gonna see that. I think we're gonna go back to chaos and huge payoffs.
Thank you, Todd. Well, it's been a few years since I've cashed a winning ticket here at the Kentucky Derby, and that's because, as Todd said, the favorite has won each of the last 3 years.
That's right, and another favorite every year is the mint julep. But if you're looking for something different, Louie's Wine Dive in Lexington has you covered either way. I'm here at Louie's Wine Dive here in Chevy Chase with Robert.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Robert, tell me what we have here.
Yeah, so this is your traditional mint juleps, somewhere you're going to find everywhere you go.
Okay.
Absolutely wonderful. Today we're going to make a twist of this traditional mint julep.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, so we actually got this sponsored from the Whiskey Trot here in Lexington.
All right.
First thing we're going to do is top off your drink full of that with ice. We have a premix that we already make. This is mints with lime and agave simple syrup that we've already muddled together. It's absolutely wonderful. So we're gonna put 0.5 of this into your drink. Okay. Top with our special mix, which is Saint Germain elderflower. This is an elderflower liqueur, very floral, very promising. It's a great summertime
liqueur. That's your secret ingredient.
Secret ingredient, yes ma'am. And then of course you're gonna top it off with the bourbon of your choice.
And a really cute little outfit, I may note. That's important. Fashion is a big part of the Derby.
Try to get it for the horses. Then you do the bourbon of your choice or whiskey, whichever you prefer. Here we're using the makers. Right. To finish it off though, we'll just take it, we'll give it a little bit of a twist to kind of mix that all together. Okay. And then to top, we'll put a little bit of mint on top, just to give it a little bit more aromatic.
That's fancy.
And a little bit more of that smell.
You can smell it here. So. All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we can get one of these on Derby Day, right?
You can. We are open from 9 to 11 on Derby Day. Okay. We have brunch from 9 to 2, so I highly suggest coming to try one of these out, have one of the cocktails, watch the race, and just have a great night.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Coming up, what to do with your hair when the wind just will not cooperate on Derby Day. Posh Salon offers up a few options next. I'm here at Posh Salon with Iris, who has created a beautiful updo perfect for Derby.
Thank you.
Tell us how you came about this.
What this is a really sleek, elegant chiffon bun. Okay. Very simple for someone to do at home. Okay. Literally, you put it in a little ponytail,
bring it over, and it's gonna last you all day long.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect for if it's hot on Derby Day and she's running.
Absolutely, and we use the Rectin Control Addict, which has a humidity protectant in it as well.
Nice.
So she's gonna have control of her hair all day long.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And now we have Brittany. So Iris, how did you come about this?
Hers was very, very simple. We went ahead and just curled all around and just brought it over and pinned it to the opposite side. She literally has 2 bobby pins in her hair. So
wow.
I know, right? Anyone could do this. But I wanted to show what it looked like without the hat. So she has this really pretty hat we'll add on here.
Pretty how it'll look. Perfect.
With the hat on.
And now we're here with Megan and Megan, and you've got something fancy going on up here. That's pretty cool.
Well, this is actually a very simple look. It's called a top knot. A lot of girls are doing it every day, and we just added a simple brooch to kind of dress it up for the Derby and added some curls on the bottom of it.
Very pretty. And now we have Miss Anna. And Megan, tell me what kind of hairdo you did here. It looks perfect for the younger girls going to the Derby.
We just sleeked it out with some Pureology cuticle polisher.
Okay.
Flat ironed it out, added a headband fascinator, super easy, user friendly, and then just did a small little braid down the side here. Takes about 5 minutes to add that braid in there.
But if you don't want to wear a hat or a fascinator, Megan has another option for you.
This is just going to be an everyday shampoo style with some curling iron curls in it. Gives you more of that hassle-free look.
Okay, it's very pretty. So you guys offer a lot more than just hairstyles here at Posh, right?
We do. We are a full-service salon and spa. We have, you know, manicures, pedicures, massage, full staff of estheticians, and we currently are licensed in Bare Minerals makeup as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
Well, it's another Spirit of the Derby show in the books for us here at Fox 56. I always have a blast doing it. We really hope you guys enjoy watching it.
Yeah, and it was my first year doing it, and I just absolutely had a blast. Thank you so much for letting me tag along.
You've done a fantastic job,
Thank
Maria.
you. Thank you.
Hey, whatever you do out there Saturday, be safe and
Happy
Derby.
The Spirit of the Derby on Fox 56 has been presented by Hustler Turf Equipment, Pepsi, Advantage Air, Apex Plumbing Solutions, Sash and Bow Boutique, and Posh Salon and Spa.